You're watching NFL Daily. Before we get into today's show presented by Fanatics. You can get these face masks at chatsports.com/player-mask. These NFL superstar player ones, Tom, they've been jumping off the shelves recently. They just got released a couple of weeks ago. Get in on the movement at chatsports.com/player-mask and get your favorite player for your favorite teams. They're available in 2-packs right now, chatsports.com/player-mask. Today's show is AFC training camp battles. Did NFC, now we're doing AFC. Let's start with the New York Jets, Tom.
Some of these will be just one spot. In the Jets' case, this is really multiple roles. I think Pierre Desir is going to be the number one corner. Beyond that point, though, when it comes down to who else ends up playing a key role for them at the cornerback spot, is it Brian Poole, who I like a lot, as a nickel? Does it end up being Blesson Austin, who the number 2 role is up in the air? Maybe it's Ed Hairston or Arthur Mallett, or maybe Quincy Wilson emerges, or my boy Bryce Hall. Maybe they play Ashton Davis some at corner.
My theory is Davis plays some corner, especially nickel. Can he be like their Kendall Fuller type, where he plays some nickel, some safety, some corner? Ashton Davis, I think that could be a possibility for the Jets. But yeah, certainly corner is really the only position on that defense, Tom, that has a question mark here. Miami Dolphins training camp battles here. Look, quarterback's obvious. Tua, Fitzpatrick. We're going to do something a little bit different for the Dolphins today. How about the running back position? You bring in Jordan Howard. You trade for Matt Breida. I think the obvious answer is this is going to be a 1-2 punch where Jordan Howard's your, in between the tackles guy. Breida is more of your speedster receiving type of option. I like this backfield, though. Look, Howard can ground and pound. He's going to be your goal line type. You might be able to get between 5 and 8 rushing touchdowns there, whereas Breida, quick back, really good speed. He can catch the ball, can do some things on the edge for you. So I think that's going to be, kind of the style here. Who's going to start, though? The main answer is probably doesn't matter, but I think you're going to split time here for a lot of the season between Jordan Howard and Matt Breida. It's going to, Howard, again, your rushing guy, whereas Breida more of your receiving option there in Miami. So who's going to have more total yards in 2020? Is it going to be Jordan Howard? Is it going to be Matt Breida? What do you think, Tom?
I'm going to go with Breida here because I think he's going to have more impact in the passing game. Not that Jordan Howard can't. My suspicion is Breida's going to kind of be your guy, from the 20-yard line to the opposing 20-yard line, and Jordan Howard gets a lot of that
goal line touches.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that's going to be his key role, which ruins things from a fantasy perspective, too.
Yeah, exactly. Stay away from Dolphins backs. JH for Howard and B for Breida. Next up is the Buffalo Bills cornerback here for Buffalo, a team that doesn't really have a lot of holes on its roster.
No, they're in really good shape. It just comes down to how good Josh Allen can play. The number 2 cornerback job, quote-unquote, will be interesting to me. I love Trey White. I think he's actually mentioned one of the more underrated players in the NFL. Yep. Taron Johnson can hold down that nickel role as he did last year. Levi Wallace has been a great surprise to that organization, and yet they keep having guys compete for that role. They brought in E.J. Gaines, who could also play at the nickel spot. But most notably, Harrison, Josh Norman gets a chance.
He's the name, obviously. He was bad last year and really hasn't been Josh Norman for a couple of years now. Obviously, the opportunity's there for that number 2 corner role. He'll get some chances. Don't love him at this point in his career, though, so we'll see what happens there in Buffalo. Quarterback in New England, one of the, few quarterback battles in the NFL this year. You got Cam Newton now. Obviously, they feel high about Jarrett Stidham. They like him a lot. I think it's going to be Cam Newton. Yeah.
This is almost a Cam Newton versus health.
Yeah.
Like, if Newton's healthy, he's going to be the guy, right?
Gotta be.
Like, it's not going to be Brian Hoyer, who maybe ends up getting cut.
Don't listen to the crazy theories of they might just cut Cam Newton.
I don't buy it. Unless, of course, it's the medical, right? So I know maybe they like Stidham long term, but they didn't pay Newton much. It was great value. Yep. He wants to be in New England to maximize his long-term career, get a 1-year prove-it deal, and then cash in next offseason. If he's healthy, and I think he will be, at least for the start of the year, I think Newton ends up being the guy for this team.
So who starts in New England? Is it Cam Newton, Jarrett Stidham? Let us know. CN for Cam Newton, JS for Jarrett Stidham. And the better question here might be who starts more games, especially when you factor in the health. So keep that in mind when you answer this question. The Kansas City Chiefs are next up here in our AFC training camp battles. Look, you bring back 20 of 22 starters. There's not going to be a lot of these, but Running back could be one of them because you spent a first-round pick on Clyde Edwards-Helaire. You have Damian Williams, who doesn't do anything in the regular season, and then he's a top 10 back in the playoffs for some reason. It's very, very strange. Obviously, long-term, Edwards-Helaire is your starter.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that.
And you and I think might disagree here. I think week 1 he's your starter.
And he could be. The reason I have stuck with Damian Williams, you can check out our Chiefs channel, youtube.com/ChiefsTV, is a couple reasons. One, the offseason has been extremely limited and continues to be. And two, Damian Williams is a proven commodity. So maybe I'm viewing it more of at the beginning of the season.
Okay.
Now, obviously by midseason and certainly next year, because Damian Williams is a free agent, they're not going to bring him back, I don't think. Edwards-Helaire is the answer here. It would be CEH. But if you're talking about to start the year, I actually think Damian Williams is your week 1 starter.
I say this without a hint of bias as someone who took Clyde Edwards-Helaire in at 101 in his fantasy
Dynasty League
draft. Rookies only, so don't freak out there. I think it's CEH pretty clearly.
What should be clear, whereas the starting running back in Kansas City might not be, is you need to wear a mask. You get these sweet player masks at chatsports.com/player mask. If you're a big Mahomes guy, there you go. 2-pack available for you guys. You got all the superstars for all your favorite teams. Chatsports.com/player mask. You can get Lamar Jackson, get Cam Newton in New England's already ready to go. They're not wasting any time at Fanatics. Go check them out at chatsports.com/player mask. Again, that link will be in the comments. And it'll be in the description. You click on it, boom, gets you to the page. You can see all the ones available. Go ahead and shop today. All right, Tom, you go ahead and take this one for the Raiders.
Mitchell Reds isn't here. He can't say no to me. It's the quarterback battle for the Las Vegas Raiders because they paid Marcus Martin. I'm kidding. Everyone calm down. I know the quarterback battle isn't really there. It's It's cornerback. That, I think, is the real battle here because this group was not great last year. They've brought in some youngsters, some veterans. There's going to be a unique battle this offseason, I believe, this preseason, I should say, this training camp for Vegas. And namely, when do the young guys take over? Because looking long-term, they've got young guys. Mullen, I think, is going to start regardless. I can't wait to see Amik Robertson be a steal. And they drafted Damon Arnett in round 1, and they took Isaiah Johnson in round 4 last year.
This is not the year, by the way, to be relying on young corners, especially rookies, because I think cornerback is one of the hardest positions to transition from college to the NFL. So not an ideal situation for the Raiders, who obviously didn't have rookie minicamp and all that stuff. I think there's a lot of potential and promise in this group. Is 2020 the year that you get quality cornerback play at multiple spots there? We'll just have to wait and see.
So I'm very curious what ends up happening in the end for Vegas at the cornerback spot. I do really want to see Amik get the role quickly. I think he's going to be great in the nickel role.
Next up in the AFC West, the Denver Broncos. Kind of a curious one here.
Yeah.
You bring in Melvin Gordon, obviously talking about the running back spot, but they got some bodies there. You still got Phillip Lindsay.
They've got guys who can handle. I mean, Phillip Lindsay ran for 1,000 yards last year, and they brought in and paid Melvin Gordon.
By the way,
that's weird, right?
Is Phillip Lindsay the quietest back-to-back 1,000-yard rusher in NFL history?
There were some old school, I think, Broncos players, funny enough, back when Shanahan was there, Mike, of course, who had some surprising 1,000-yard years. Maybe Lindsay, I think, though, in terms of like recent guys, for sure. I don't know how this gets broken up in the end. This is really interesting.
They invested in Freeman fairly high a couple of years ago, but Lindsay
was
better.
the later round pick. It's a unique grouping.
I think Lindsay's UDFA, I believe.
He was.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
We'll see. I think Gordon starts. You don't give a guy $8 million per at the running back position, but I don't think he'll be a 3-down guy. I think Lindsay will get touches. I think Freeman will get touches.
Could they trade Freeman?
Possibly.
Send him to the Bucks for a 5th-round pick?
I'm sure Seattle will take him.
Stop it, you.
PL.
You're going to get me in trouble with them again.
PL for Phillip Lindsay, MG for Melvin Gordon, RF for Royce Freeman. Got another quarterback battle out in L.A. Call me crazy. I actually think it's pretty clear Tyrod Taylor's your week 1 starter. I think if you're projecting over 16 games, that's a better question, but they're going to roll with the veteran. They got a roster they think they can win with this year, in my opinion. And I don't think Justin Herbert's going to be your week 1 starter.
Piggybacking off of that thought here, as you guys get your votes and as to who you think starts, TT for Tyrod or Tyrod Taylor and JH for Herbert. Anthony Lynn is kind of sort of on the hot seat, I think.
Yeah.
And hot seat coaches, they almost always go with the veteran, trying to win games early and then go to the young guy and go, but look what he did late in the year.
Look, we saw this in Cleveland with Tyrod and Baker.
Yeah.
Tyrod started, and by week 3, Baker was the starter. So that could very well be the case here with Tyrod comes in. He's not that good. And then they turn to Herbert after an 0-2, 0-3 start. That could very much be a possibility. Cincinnati Bengals offensive line, it's bad.
Yeah, Bobby Hart sucks. I want to make this. You guys laugh because I always do it.
Who's the centers that bad?
Billy Price.
He's awful.
He's been benched now. Bobby Hart is worse because the Bengals keep playing him for reasons unknown to mankind. He's a major issue. The only thing he's good at blocking is people that call out his really bad stuff on Twitter and Instagram. He posts just he's
really good at blocking Twitter accounts.
He's not a good person, plain and simple. But the Bengals offensive line in general has issues. They paid Trey Hopkins. They have Jonah Williams.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan flashed some promise. The right side of the offensive line, people don't know those dudes.
That's not the Michael Jordan you're looking for. That's all I'm saying. Let's keep it rolling in the AFC North. The Pittsburgh Steelers. Look, you got Juju. You got who do you have as their number 2 guy?
I actually think it's Deontay Johnson.
So you got him over.
I got him over James Washington. So you've kind of got a 2 versus 3 battle there.
Yeah.
I think Chase Claypool is going to try and push for Washington's job. I've been underwhelmed by Washington.
You think they use him as a tight end at all, Claypool?
No, I don't.
Kind of a flex tight end.
Big
type?
slot, sure at times, which is like the
Evan
same
Ingram,
roles.
basically.
Exactly. Like he's not going to be in line.
He's never going to block.
But he'll be in the slot, sure. I wonder about Washington long term with the team. Look, I honestly struggle with Pittsburgh. Like their starting lineup is actually pretty damn great across the board.
Like Big Ben's healthy.
Exactly.
Those weapons, that could be a sleeper team in the AFC. We hope we're not a sleeper at this point here. We almost got 200,000 subscribers. If you're not one of them, hit that big red subscribe button. Look, training camp's around the corner. The season's almost here. If something changes with the season, we're going to be the first to tell you. So go ahead and subscribe. We'll keep you updated all year long, and we'll come up with some creative segments just like this one. YouTube.com/ChatSportsTV. Share that link with a friend. Spread the word. It's us here at Chat Sports. Hit that subscribe button. The Cleveland Browns also here at wide receiver number 3. Look, you got OBJ, you got Jarvis Landry. Who's that third guy?
Great 1-2 punch. This team, based on what we saw with Kevin Stefanski in Minnesota, they're going to use a lot of 2 tight end sets. They're not going to be that 11 personnel. That's 3 receivers. They're not going to use that. They're going to use 2 mostly, but they will need a third. I don't know who that is. Rashard Higgins was in the doghouse all last year. Tyrod Taylor was a non-factor.
They hoped that Antonio Callaway, but he's flamed out quickly. He's gone.
Donovan Peoples-Jones, I thought was great value. Maybe he can have a breakout, season at some point. Didn't really have one at Michigan. Maybe it can happen in Cleveland. Maybe it's DPJ. Maybe it's just Higgins for the time being. I don't know who their number 3
I always
receiver
kind of
is.
like Higgins, but for whatever reason,
he was just in a bad spot last year with that team for reasons I will never fully understand.
So who should be the third receiver in Cleveland? Let us know what you guys think in the comments section. And for you Browns fans and all NFL fans, we got face coverings available. We're probably going to have to wear these for a while, so I go ahead and recommend you order one for your favorite team at chatsports.com/stay safe. The single ones are available for just $14.99, but I recommend getting the 3 or the 4 packs from your favorite teams because it's better bang for your buck.
They look cooler, too.
Yeah, and they're better styles, too. 3 packs, $24.99. 4 packs, $29.99. It's the best value out there. Lots of new styles available coming up in the last couple of weeks with our partner Fanatics. So go to chatsports.com/stay safe. They're available for all 32 NFL teams. Speaking of the Ravens there, offensive guard here, Tom.
It's a unique situation for the Ravens because they already had a need entering the offseason. Then, I think, likely Hall of Famer Marshall Giannis, retired. Giant hole now at guard, which I think is like the weakness for this team. The good news is, Harrison, they have options. Bradley Bozeman started some games last year. They took Ben Powers round 4 last year, spent a round 3 pick this year on Tyree Phillips, a 4th-round pick on Ben Bredesen out of Michigan, signed DJ Fluker. Options.
And look, offensive line's boring to talk about, but the Ravens run the football more than anybody. So it's important that they figure out the guard spot up in Baltimore because they are going to be running the football quite a bit. Bit of a curveball here in Jacksonville. Yannick versus the Jags. Will he ever report?
Yeah, mixing it up here. Look, I don't know. He's not going to show up for camp. He doesn't have to. He never signed his franchise tag tender, so there's no fines that can be placed against him. He's not going to show up. Maybe he tries to go the Jalen Ramsey route, which he laid the groundwork there of, oh, I'm hurt. Oh, my hamstring. Oh, it's so tight. It's so sore. I can't play. You kind of fake the soft tissue injury, get your way out of there. He wants to trade. If I'm Jacksonville, I'm doing that too.
Yeah, look, clearly the era is over. What should the Jags do with him? We'll leave it up to you guys. P for pay, T for trade, W for wait. They're not paying him because he doesn't want to play there. So trade or just waiting and doing nothing really seems to be the only option there. If you're typing W, you're basically saying, they hold him ransom there, because that's basically what it would be if they just don't do anything. Colts are next up here, running back spot. You got Jonathan Taylor, you got Nyheim Hines, Marlon Mack. I think it's going to be a bit of a committee up there in Indianapolis.
I think at least for this year, long term, or I guess next contract for Marlon Mack and Taylor, it's going to be Taylor.
Yeah, you let Mack walk.
He's gone. Now, Nyheim Hines is also still going to be involved with this team.
Especially
he's going to be the pass catcher guy. He's going to play the Austin Eckler role, the Danny Woodhead role for Philip Rivers at quarterback. I think Taylor, though, will become the starter. I still think you'll see some of Marlon Mack unless he's traded, though.
Yeah, look, Taylor's clearly the guy long-term. Mack, while he's good, I think Indianapolis is recognizing we're not paying him long-term. That's why they drafted Jonathan Taylor. Houston Texans next up, tight end position. Obviously, it's been a circus of an offseason at the receiver spot with the Hopkins trade, adding Cooks and Randall Cobb, among others. But tight end's a bit of a question mark.
Yeah, they have Darren Fells. They're fine there. Houston kind of fell into can the young guys finally emerge? Can they finally step up and impress here? They have options. They spent a third-round pick last year on Kahale Waring. I don't think he's ready. A couple picks 2019 on Jordan Thomas and Jordan Akins, the Jordans. Maybe Akins is kind of a disappointment. I think he could step up. I think it's Fells. I think Houston, though, internally would love for one of those young guys to emerge.
Let's go to the Tennessee Titans here. Right tackle. You lose Jack Conklin. Obviously, you're wanting to run the football, protect Ryan Tannehill. What happens at right tackle?
I think it's actually going to be Dennis Kelly, week one. I think that's going to be the case here. Maybe Isaiah Wilson will take over later on in the year. My suspicion is that Kelly starts the year. He's had the experience. He played some right tackle last year. Was a swing tackle. Long term, of course, it's going to be Isaiah Wilson. It just depends on when that ends up happening. With the limited offseason and preseason, maybe it takes a little bit longer than it normally would.